You're watching 10 Tampa Bay. I'm Caitlin Lockerbie. Thanks for joining us. Right now, our Verify team looks into issues impacting your safety, your privacy, and your wallet. From crashing cars and falling trees to the buying and selling of your personal information, we're separating fact from fiction. Starting with something that's only becoming more and more integrated into our daily life: telemarketers spamming your phone with calls. 10 Tampa Bay's Jenny Dean verifies how seemingly innocent websites play a much bigger role in the buying and selling of your personal information.
Yeah, we all want to get the best deal when it comes to things like insurance. So price comparison tools like this one seem to be the easiest way to do that. But putting in your personal information can lead to tons of calls, texts, and emails from companies looking to make you their client. Verify viewers Mike and Layla told us it feels kind of scammy, but they wanted to know if it's illegal. So let's verify. This process is called lead generation, and it works in 3 steps. First, a curious consumer puts their information into a website that matches them to the best offer. Next, the website takes and holds that information known as a lead. Then, companies can buy those leads and reach out to those potential customers.
In some cases, it can actually be beneficial because it can cut out organizations that, let's say, don't work in your area or don't do policies in your area or for your age range or all of those kinds of things. Where it becomes a real challenge is when this information is shared with a whole bunch of groups or sold to other groups that may not have anything to do with what you're looking for.
Now, it's understandable that this could seem shady, especially when you didn't give your information directly to the companies contacting you. But lead generation is legal and it's regulated by the Federal Communications Commission. In fact, there are new rules taking effect in January to better protect your privacy. They include getting consent from you before sharing your information, making sure the do not call registry applies to text and phone calls, and more transparency about what to expect if you hand your information over.
It's going to give people a little bit more information about how this is being used. It's not going to be able to be just thrown out there to everybody for whatever they want to do with it. And I think that's a great step in the right direction.
Remember, you can always put your phone number on the National Do Not Call Registry to stop robocalls or texts from telemarketers. With your Verify, I'm Jenny Dean.
All right, thanks, Jenny. Something not so common in everyday life: a tree falling on your home. The cost to fix the damage can seem life-changing, but what if it's not even your tree? Verify viewer James wants to know if he still has to foot the bill, especially if the tree sat on city-owned land. 10 Tampa Bay anchor Frank Wiley breaks down what the law says.
Using these sources, we found that the answer depends on the health of the tree. According to the official encyclopedia on Florida law, if the tree is dead or dying, the landowner, or in this case, the city, is likely on the hook. But if it was a healthy tree, you'll probably have to file a claim with your home insurance. Why? Legal experts point to a liability defense called Act of God. It argues that a healthy tree wouldn't have a reason to fall, so whatever caused it must have been outside the landowner's control. A prime example: strong winds from a hurricane. And here's a heads up for homeowners. If you have trees on your property, make sure they're in good shape. It can be a pain to remove or trim them, but it will save you from ever having to pay the costly fallout if it comes down on yours or your neighbor's home. So, James, we can verify at the root of the issue is the life of the tree. The city would likely only have to pay damages if they neglected to maintain the health of the tree, causing it to fall.
Frank Wiley reporting there for you. It is frustrating having to file insurance claims. And when it comes to your car, your best line of defense is knowing the rules of the road, especially when it's raining and the streets are slick. So what do you need to know here? Let's verify using these sources, including Florida law. Starting with your headlights in Florida, you're legally required to have your headlights turned on if the weather is bad enough that you need to be using your windshield wipers. And when it comes to those hazard lights, it's illegal in a handful of U.S. states, according to AAA, but not Florida, at least not anymore. Since 2021, Florida drivers have been legally allowed to turn on those flashers in bad weather. But even so, AAA says it's probably not your best option.
Just because you can drive with your hazard lights on doesn't mean that you should. I think that ultimately, especially when you're driving in the rain, hazard lights can be confusing and distracting to other motorists around you. Oftentimes, hazard lights are used for stranded vehicles. And so if you turn on your hazards while you're driving, other vehicles behind you might assume that you are a stranded vehicle and try to take unnecessary evasive maneuvers to get around you.
Now, before the law changed, the only exception in Florida was if you were in a funeral procession or stopped on the side of the road. And sticking with your safety right now, recent headlines are telling people to throw out certain kitchen utensils because they contain dangerous chemicals. Ariane Detail from our National Verify team looks into whether your plastic spoon or spatula need to go.
A lot of people on social media are warning about the alleged origins and health risks of black plastics. One of the biggest claims is about black plastics in kitchen utensils and food containers.
Your kitchen secretly toxic. Everyday black plastic items like utensils or kids' toys may have banned cancer-causing chemicals which are recycled from electronics.
But is it true? Let's verify using these sources. The answer is yes. Multiple scientific studies conducted in the last 15 years have found evidence that black plastic kitchenware is often made from recycled electronics. The recent attention on black plastics stems from an October 2024 peer-reviewed study by researchers with the Amsterdam Institute for Life and Environment and Toxic Free Future. The study found detectable levels of flame-retardant chemicals, which are used in the plastic elements of electronics in other things, like black plastic kitchen utensils, takeout containers, toys, and hair accessories. So, what about the health risks of these chemicals? The National Institutes of Health say significant exposure to them can be toxic and can cause adverse health effects, including cancer, hormone disruption, and harm to reproductive health and child development. But it's unclear exactly how harmful any specific black plastic kitchen utensil may be to your health. Take this black spatula, for example. Dr. Mary Ann Amirshihi, a medical toxicologist at the National Capital Poison Center, says its potential danger could vary based on the size of the spatula, how hot it gets when cooking, how long it's heated for, how much contact it has with the food, and how much of the chemicals it actually contains, all of which can vary, according to several studies. Some experts say that wood and metal utensils are a good alternative for people who wish to limit their exposure to black plastics. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
Well, thanks for watching. You can always keep up with our Verify team by downloading the free 10 Tampa Bay app or by following 10 Tampa Bay on Instagram, X, and Facebook. If you ever have something that you want us to look into, you can email us, verify@10tampabay, or text us your questions, 727-577-8522. I'm Caitlin Lockerbie. We'll see you back here soon.